Hello again in Simple Math for You, and today we are going to continue part 2 for lesson Piecewise and Step Functions. أهلا بكم من جديد، واليوم سنكمل الجزء الثاني من درسنا Piecewise الدالة متعددة التعريف وستيب فانكشن الدالة المتدرجة. الدالة المتعددة التعريف the piecewise function we are done with that, we finish it in part 1, and now we are going to move to step function. Step function will look like that, like a step, مثل الدرج. كيف ممكن function يكون شكله بهذا الشكل؟ درج، متدرج. One of the famous functions, step functions, called the greatest integer function. The greatest integer function has notification like this. Symbol, 2 brackets, and x is between these brackets. This is called greatest integer function. As per definition, greatest integer function is the greatest integer less than or equal to x. Let's take some examples. We have here function of x is equal greatest integer of x. This is the symbol of greatest integer. Some books, they are using it this way, or 1 bracket only. Instead of saying greatest integer of, they are using just this notification. Okay, now, what if you are asked to find greatest integer of 1.7? So according to the definition, it is the greatest integer less than or equal to 1.7. Let's check the number line. This is the number line that we have here. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. Now the greatest integer يعني أكبر عدد صحيح، هذا اسمه الفانكشن اسمها الدالة صحيح العدد. greatest integer function يعني أكبر عدد صحيح أصغر أو يساوي هذا الرقم اللي بين القوسين. طيب هلا إحنا طلبنا عن 1.7. 1.7 where is it? 1.7 is here. This is 1.7. Here, somewhere here. 1.7. Now, what are the integers below? مين الأعداد الصحيحة اللي قبلها? We have 1, 0, -1, -2, -3. What is the greatest? أكبر واحد فيهم مين? The 1. إذا الحل السريع شو نسوي؟ نرجع لليسار. We go to the left. The first integer you face is your integer required. It's not rounding. هو مش تقريب. يعني don't say 2. غلط. Wrong. You have to go down less than, not more than. Even if it's 1.9999, the greatest integer will be 1. So for this exercise, the greatest integer will be 1. What if you have greatest integer of 3? 3 is already an integer. أصلاً عدد صحيح. So greatest integer is 3. What is f of 0? 0, because it's already an integer. What if you have greatest integer of -0.5? -0.5 is somewhere here. What is the greatest integer less than or equal to that? It's directly less that one, less than that one, أقل منه، فإذا it is equal to -1. While f of 0.5 is just 0. So we have to be careful for the greatest integer function. Okay, so how can we have this shape? As we said, we might have x equals to 0 or above, let's say. If it is equal to 0 or 0.1 or 0.5 or 0.7 or 0.8, 0.0009, 0.9999 لحد اللي قبل الواحد, just below the 1, the greatest integer will equal to 0. So the interval between 0 and 1, not including the 1, will lead to y equals to 0. So we can do the table this way. What about x more than or equal to 1? And less than, just less than 2, أقل من 2, يعني لحد 1.999, it will go to 1, وهكذا, etc. And that explains this interval notation. So when 0 and everything above the 0 until the 1 will have y equals to 0. And then from 1 to 2, it has value 1. From 2 to 3, it has the value of 2. And this will take this model step, مثل الدرج, مثل السلم. So this is how we know the greatest integer function. And as you see here, the y values will be always integers. أعداد صحيحة. So this explains why the range will be just integers. It can be negative integers. Here we have -1, -2, -3, or positive integers. So our range is all integers. This is the parent function. Now, if it is shifted or stretched or whatever, it can be changing. But for the parent function, the range is the greatest function is only integers. Okay, that domain is already numbered since it accepts any value for x. You can put x fraction, you can put negative numbers, 0, whatever. So this is the parent function, and I advise everyone to memorize the parent function because we are going to graph this. Okay, let's now graph each function. State the domain and the range. Instead of generating tables, I would prefer to use the parent function. So parent function was originally this way. We just mentioned that, and we have to be careful about the open circle where it's exactly open and when it's exactly closed. So it's closed, then open, closed, open, etc. This is the greatest integer function, which is enough to draw or to graph these 5 pieces. It's kind of piecewise function. Now, the greatest integer is multiplied by 2. That means each value of y will be doubled. So let's see piece number 1. Piece number 1 is standing at y equals to 0. If you multiply the 0 by 2, it will stay at 0. So the function will be 1 by 0, 0. 0 by 0 by, 2, 0, because it's 2 here. Next, the second one. Go to the next one. This is the second piece. Second piece is standing at y equals to 1. If you multiply the 1 by 2, اضرب ال1 ب2, so it will be 2. So this piece number 2, will be at 2 instead of 1. So this will be at 2 somewhere here, keeping the same shape. So this will be piece number 2 after changing. And let's talk about piece number 3. Piece number 3 is standing at y equals to 2. Multiply 2 by 2, it will be 4. So instead of standing at 2, it will stand at 4. So this piece will go to 4. Similar procedure will be done for the negative side. If we take this is piece number 3. So let's go to the negative side. Piece number 4, which is standing at -1. -1 times 2 minus 2. So this will stand here. Let's change the color to green because we started by the green. So keeping the same open and closed circle without changing. And the last piece we are going to deal with here is piece number 5. It was standing at -2. -2 times 2 minus 4. So it will stand at -4. Instead, it will be here. So my function, the new function, will be the green. The green color is my new function after transformation. And remember, when you multiply the 2 outside, that means it has been stretched vertically. And it is very obvious here that it becomes narrower than before because of the stretching. Okay, now what is the domain? Domain is already numbers. But what is the range? It's very obvious here that the y values used are what? The green ones are standing at where? At 2, at 4, from the other side 0, -2, -4, etc. It's extended from both directions. So my range will be all multiple integers of 2. Or integers multiples of 2. Or you can say all even integers. We can say that. Multiple integers, it can be if it's multiplied by 3, it will also stand at 3, 6. يعني مضاعفات العدد 2 أو الأعداد الزوجية all even integers is my range because these are the values that were used. هاي الvalues اللي استخدمت. Okay, let's go here. Greatest integer of minus x, and we know that minus inside means reflection across y-axis. That means this axis will behave like a mirror. So let's graph original parent function. Original parent function will be here, as we know. Now, if you reflect it across the y-axis, everything will be flipped to the other side. So this will be over there. Remember, the closed will be circle, will be the other side. And this will stand here. This will be the opposite side. So it will behave like a mirror. Count here 2 units. So this will be my new one. This is the new function. And here we go. The purple one is the one that I am looking for. This color is the reflection across the y-axis. It's easier to use the transformation. أفضل نستخدم transformation technique instead of generating table and wasting time. Same here. We have one added to the greatest function. So let's see what will happen. This is the greatest integer function originally. The parent function is here. Everything will be shifted 1 unit up. So we will graph it easily. Now, the new one will be up 1 unit. Everything will be shifted up. Everything will be shifted up. Okay, and here the last one, we have 2 types of transformation. We have reflection across the x-axis and multiplying by 2, which is the vertical stretching. Now the reflection will be across the x-axis means now the x-axis will be my mirror. So if this was the original function, the parent one, this is the parent one, I will graph it. Now this is 1, 2, and this is -1, -2. Okay, everything will be multiplied by -2. Or, in other words, it will be reflected across the x-axis, then multiplied by 2. If you want to do it in 2 steps, it's fine. This became 0 because it's reflected on the mirror itself, so it stay here. This one, after reflection, will be over there. This one will be over here. انعكاس في المراية. المراية راح تكون عندك كأنها x-axis. So this will be flipped, and this will be flipped. And this is stage number 1. Stage number 2, all the y values, as we did in example 1, will be multiplied by 2. So all these red y's will be multiplied by 2 or will be doubled. So the final destination where this was at 2, so it will be at 4. This will be, it was at 1, it will be now become at 2, multiplied by 2. This stays at 0, and this one going here, and this one was at 2, then it will go at 4. Now, what is the domain? What is the range here? Now, the domain is all in numbers with no doubt, and the range here is also even numbers because it takes the 2, 0, 4, whatever. Okay, here, does it affect the range? The range is still, or here, range is just all integers. Domain all in numbers. Here, range is all integers as well. So you have to think about it in a common sense way. It will be better for you. Now let's evaluate these 2 values. F of 5.8, simply when you are asked to evaluate or to find the value of, just replace the value of x. So this is x, f of 5.8, and I will replace 5.8 instead of the x. Never ever find the greatest integer then add. You have to evaluate what is the bracket in the bracket first. طلع اللي بالبراكت أول. So I will put -2. 5.8 plus 3 is 8.8. Then I will put the -2 down. What is the greatest integer of 8.8? the integer just below is just 8. Then multiply -2 times 8, which is -16. And this is the final answer. For the negative number, you will do the same thing, same procedure, but be careful. So minus 10.4 plus 3, it's -2. And negative 10.4 plus 3, you have to subtract because signs are different. Then it will be 7.4, but negative. Now, what is the greatest integer of negative 7.4? If it is positive, then it goes to 7. But since it is negative, -7 more than -8. So you go to the less one, which is -8. So this greatest integer will turn to the -8. This is -2. We will not change. And -2 times -8, now it is +16. I showed you the difference between both cases. Now, the last thing we are going to discuss here is the real life application. مسائل من الحياة. Dima is selling boxes of chocolate. The boxes of chocolate can be ordered by the bag with 20 boxes per bag. So one bag includes 20 boxes. كل شنطة، كل حقيبة فيها 20 صندوق of chocolate من الشوكولاتة. Draw a graph to represent the number of bags needed. Y in bags here Y, so this is Y. And the number of boxes of chocolate is X. So we want the relation between X and Y in this case. If this lady has bag, in the bag we have 20 boxes, whatever. So if she sells only 10 boxes, she will need one bag. So from 0, yani if she is selling more than or equal to 0, yani one box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes, until the 20 box, more than only, because 0 boxes, 0 bags, we don't have anything. So if this is the situation, if she wants, إذا بدها تبيع 15 box, 15 box, 16 boxes, 20 boxes, 6 boxes, she will need one bag only, right? And again, when X is more than 20, if she has to sell 21 boxes، إذا بدها 21 لازم تشتري شنطتين لحد كم؟ لحد 40 وهكذا. So we are dealing with intervals here. فترات من 0 لل20 box نحتاج شنطة واحدة. So here your Y will be number of bags. Your X here will be number of boxes. So number of boxes will be what here we said this is the bag, which is Y. Here the boxes, which is X. So here the boxes we can divide the scale as 0, 20, 40, 60, 80. And the Y number of bags 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to understand the problem first. لازم نفهم المسألة أول عشان نعرف نرسمها. إذا لما يكون عندها 0 boxes ما بدها تبيع ولا شيء، 0 with 0 لأنه ما حتشتري شنط إذا هي ما تبيع ولا شيء. تمام. هلا من 0 ل 20 يعني بس just after the 0 يعني just after the 0 يعني 0.1 chocolate 1 piece whatever, she will be here. She will need one bag. All that will need to one bag. So open circle at 0, close at 20. Now, if we need more than 20, we will go here to buy another bag. وهكذا, etc. So this will be type of step function. Step function here, starting from 0, and it is increasing by 1, 1, 1. So your domain here is all real numbers, and your range will be integers, which is the number of bags. Thank you, and see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.